Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride.
As I stood proudly in Nynäs by the snowman I'd built, I heard a guy up in Fransta shovel snow in his kilt. So I looked him up, no place out of bounds, and today here sits Archie on Two Guys and Three Crowns.
Ooh.
What do you think? That was my ode
very
to Archie.
Seussian. Very Seussian.
Yes, we got a special guest with us today. Archie McCullum, welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored. And that was a fantastic poem.
I started. It's taken me over a week and a half. It was like after we first talked, I was like, okay, I'm going to write Archie a special poem.
Seriously,
that's all the creativity that I have for that.
I think you have a couple years of practice before you take on Amanda Gorham.
Okay,
going for that level of stuff, but I like it.
Love it.
All right,
very fitting.
Archie, welcome to the show. You are a fellow expat, and you're let me put that differently. You're here in Sweden with us. And you are, I was going to say you're way up north, but you're not really that far up north. You're like up north and then inland, but tell us your journey here. What brings Archie McCullum to Sweden?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I came to Sweden 2013 for the first time to play football. So, it was a connection through my older brother that played football for the same team called Fränsta IK. So I met the main man, Thomas, that brought me here at my brother's wedding, just a sort of chance conversation. He was like, do you play football as well? And I was, I was like, yeah. And we had a nice conversation. Then, I heard nothing of it for months. And then, he emailed me and said, look, we want you to come over and play for us in Sweden. Come for a summer and have a good time and you'll enjoy it. So I came. I was like, absolutely. And I'll never forget my first day in Sweden.
Oh boy.
Baptism of fire, like totally.
Right.
I didn't know anyone really. I came from I was living in Glasgow, the biggest city in Scotland, and then just directly into Fränsta, which is, like 1,200 people.
Right.
I grew up in a small town in Scotland, so I absolutely was, used to that. But just the culture shock and the nature of, my first day was, I arrived in the night and they said, get a good sleep. We'll pick you up at 7:45 tomorrow. And I was like, well, something must be happening in the evening. So got the whole day to chill. They're like, no, 7:45 in the morning. Yeah. And they said, you're going on a svensexan, a stag party, bachelor party. So,
oh, Jesus.
I was like, a nice one. So, one of my teammates that I didn't know, obviously, at the time, I was invited to svensexan and, 8 in the morning, I'm handed a beer, welcome. And we're going paintballing. So we do that, and by midday we're back at the football club, and there's a party, and everyone's naked in the sauna, drinking, singing "Stadig Used" and 500 miles, and the Proclaimers, and it was just wild. And the day continued. We went, it was Sista April, the last day of April.
Right.
I didn't know that was a celebration. I thought it was just I thought it was a normal Tuesday in Sweden. And we went, in the evening there was a gathering at the neighbouring town, the Ljungaverk, Folkets Hus. It was this rockabilly evening music, and there was all these classic cars, and everyone was dressed, in sort of from the 50s. It was it was amazing. I was just so, I'm a time traveling kind of thing. The whole day was just surreal, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened because I met basically everyone from around here, like from the town, in the first day.
Right.
So suddenly I knew everyone, and then within a few weeks, I was really welcomed and integrated into this community. That was from day one. So, Thomas and the football club and everyone just made me feel so welcome. So,
And at this
that
point,
was day one. I
everyone's
was
seen
like,
Archie naked in the sauna, so
totally,
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, that was day one, and I just knew from then. I was like, I love this place, and it was about
Holy smokes.
the people.
What a fantastic beginning. So between the bachelor party and like the ragabila, like the 50s thing,
Yeah.
I mean, within like 24, 48 hours, you knew everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was, of course, observing these things from day one. And I hadn't even had a training session with the football team or anything. And they'd put my name up on the in the changing room, and they hung like a set of bagpipes on the hook. And I was like, here we go. And they were like, come on, you're from Scotland, you must know how to play the bagpipe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play for the crowd, and then after a couple of hours they tell me they're just fake.
Did you? Okay. Did you?
I've never played the bagpipes, but everyone assumes that everyone in Scotland plays.
I was thinking you're going to wait and then be like, man, should I tell these guys that I've never played football before? That I've never played soccer?
That was another thing. I played competitive football up until I was 17, but this time I was 25, and I hadn't played competitive football for a while, so there was a pressure involved in that as well. But this first day just released all these nerves, and I had a great time playing football, and I still do. So yeah,
it's fantastic, because when I looked on the map, when you told me about Fränsta, first I turned to my wife and I was like, Lena, var ligger Fränsta? I was like, where's Fränsta is? And that's one of my big mistakes too, just assuming that my Swedish wife knows every single city, town on the map. So I like Google it, and when it pops up, I'm following it, and there's nothing really around Fränsta.
No.
I mean, it's because I was sitting there, I was thinking, man, Archie, is he like part of the Night's Watch or something? Is there like a big like a?
That's why I say I'm living north of the wall.
Yeah.
I love Fränsta. You're totally right. It is isolated, but it's beautiful as well. Especially in the summer, it's idyllic, and you've got nature. Surrounded by nature, and the lakes. Going swimming in the lakes in the summer.
Right.
Everyone's just so chilled, and I just loved that atmosphere from the start.
I was going to say that small community feeling. I mean,
Totally.
we talk a lot about the expat experience being down here, like in Stockholm.
Yes.
And I feel a difference as well, because my Lena's family half of her family is from Skåne. So
Okay, yeah.
on the opposite end downward, and there's definitely you can feel a change. I mean, people greeting each other and saying hi, and Fränsta, I would have, I would assume that you got to say hi, because you're going to see that person probably like 15, 20 minutes later.
I totally agree with you. And a lot of these, I don't know, the Swedish stereotypes, none of them really exist in Fränsta. Like it's a strong community, and everyone says hi. And there's people I don't know in Fränsta, and I'll always say hi to them if I pass them on the street.
Wait, Fränsta, it is in Sweden though, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like,
But these things don't really exist here, and that's also what I love. And a lot of some of the content I do is about. I've traveled all around Sweden through my job,
right?
So I've met thousands of people, and be able to observe that sense. But where I live, there's little things, but you're totally right. It's that community feeling. Yeah.
So you are not a love refugee per se.
Well, I love football, so.
Okay.
Good answer.
Yeah, make sure we get our priorities straight here.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've been with my Sambo Josephine for 2.5 years, and we're expecting our first born, and things have just it's totally settled, and Sweden's like home, basically.
Wow. Fantastic. So you're not a love refugee. You're actually like a love prisoner. I mean, now you're in it to win it.
100%.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the club, my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. How's it going, Sean?
Good. Something new to discover every day.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sean, you just started sleeping like a month ago, didn't you? I mean, let's see.
Something like that. I think it was about 2 days ago, I think, at this point, something like that. Yeah. Now we're slowly, we have to rediscover the Swedish system, right? Because we've been away for a month and a half abroad, back in the U.S. and Brazil. So we're trying to reacclimate ourselves. And of course, my son Dylan, he's like rediscovering all his toys now, and the tables and chairs and the sofa. So now he's like, I don't need my high chair. I'll just go get a seat myself and pull myself up to the table where there's cutlery and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, okay, we're too advanced right now. I'm not ready for this new set of problems. Take me back to the old problems.
Yeah. Hey, Archie, you are a musician.
That's right.
Now, are you soccer musician? Is music like is that the main, Archie?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I did lots of, I did sports when I was young, lots of football and tennis, and then music music took over. And the funny thing is that, I was playing music since I can remember, and in bands, and before I came to Sweden, I was in a couple of bands and playing lots of gigs in Glasgow, and then I just sort of took a break from that and wanted to take a break from that. Came to Sweden to play football, and then slowly the music just came back, and now that's the main thing here is the music in Sweden. So it just took time away from it to sort of appreciate it again, and now it's I love what I'm doing right now. So yeah,
because now you're surrounded by inspiration. I mean, you are isolated, inspired, and I was in there, and I've listened, and will tell anybody that is listening to the podcast to go check it out, and listen to some tracks. Actually saw some videos too. Saw some YouTube videos.
Yeah, I mean, I met this. There's a couple of bands that live here, in and around the area, and they've been touring around Sweden for a while, successful bands, and I just just became friends with them. And I think at my second year here, they just asked me to come along and for a weekend and sell some merchandise on tour, or it was a couple of dates in Sweden. So that I was just I loved it. I was thrown into that, and that's also a thing with learning the Swedish. Suddenly there's thousands of people wanting to buy a T-shirt, and they're all asking me everything in Swedish, and I don't really speak Swedish at that point. I actually I think I was wearing my kilt as well, so it was just just wild. And then over time they gave me the responsibility to be in charge of their merchandise, and learn a lot from them, and inspired by seeing them. They're performing to thousands of people over Sweden and Europe as well, and they've inspired me. And over time I was like, I'm gonna start my own solo venture, really. So that's been going for a couple of years now.
Cool. So you were in charge of selling merchandise, but you didn't speak the language.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you guys did okay. The people in the band afterwards weren't like, okay, we need to do like this, the calculation thing, like the crowns and the, how this we actually need to.
You need to add another zero to all the prices.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was confusing at the start, but they trusted me, and they just said, "You'll do great," and go in, and of course you can speak English, and that was kind of charming, to the fans as well, because they were like, "Wow, who's this Scottish guy selling merch?" And it actually worked in the a really positive way. And now, like, I feel really boring when I'm speaking in Swedish now to the at the gigs.
Right.
it's a real community of fans like there, and they support me in my music stuff as well, and it's really, and that's how I really learned Swedish, was these tours, like just
Yeah.
being in amongst it, thousands of people, different city every day, and you just get immersed in the whole Swedish culture. Yeah.
So you're supposed to be gone for like a couple weeks. You came back after 2.5 years, fluent in Swedish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a journey, and studied music here in this town in Fränsta. They have a great folkhögskola.
Okay.
So, studied music there for like 2 years, and it's been great. Now I'm songwriting and perform. Well, obviously not this year, or last year, but yeah, it's going good.
They have a swimming pool up there.
Yes, a swimming pool. Fantastic.
When you Google Fränsta, the city pops up, and then there's a swimming pool there. Those were the two things
where it's at. Like that.
Yeah. Because
we have an ICA and a Coop, so like.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and we've got a pizzeria. Love the pizzeria guys. That the guy calls me on the street when we pass on the street. He calls me by which order I get. Like
okay.
He's like, "Hey, Vagabondo Special." That's my name.
No, right. That's you.
That's what it's all about in the community. The regulars that go to the pizzeria and stuff like that. It's great. Yeah.
You should use that. That should become like a stage name.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that was the first pizza I was given. I didn't have a choice. I was given this pizza on the first night that arrived, and I fell in love with it. It's just like a fusion of bacon and egg and peppers and all sorts on top of a pizza. I was like, what is going on? But it's brilliant.
They hooked you. Do you know what number it is on the menu? Everybody.
It's got to be at least second class.
Yeah.
Okay, 27. So so it's like a class 2, class 3 pizza.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a simple man. Same with my corv, ketchup, and a bit of the roasted lök. Nothing fancy.
Onion on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about yourself?
We're gonna have to send Sean up there for some Swedish lessons, because I'm doing a horrible.
Yeah, I'm going to need to go to one of those bachelor parties before I eat the pizza.
100% recommend that. That is the best thing that could happen.
You got the sauna thing happening. Archie, so I found you popped up in a stream, Instagram, out there cruising, and one of your videos popped up, fell in love with it instantly, sat there laughing.
A nice one.
When did you start that journey? Because you have, I was going to say, you have quite a few people. You got a ton of people to follow you. That's
it's been a bit crazy. Been a bit crazy. I was due to go on this work on this tour around Germany, and that was cancelled around March time. And then obviously it just became apparent that there was going to be nothing for a certain amount of time. So I went on, TikTok. It gets a lot of bad rap with, it's a younger demographic, and there's a lot of dancing and stuff. But out with that, there's a lot of great people on TikTok creating a lot of good things. And I did it for the music. I was like, I need to get on TikTok with the whole music, like pushing the music.
Right.
But I was so tired of pushing the music. I thought, just do something different on this app. And it's so anonymous that, none of my friends are on it. It's not like, Instagram, where you have your friends and like your faces in the camera, and you can be self-conscious about that. But it's just random people that each video just gets put out to new people. It's not so much a following app, it's a discovery app.
Okay.
I have followers on TikTok as well, but each video is individual, really. It goes to new people all the time. So it's just so anonymous. I just started doing these Scott in Sweden videos and just picking up on lots of things I had observed years back, but I didn't really have a platform for it, and started speaking to myself for long periods in the same room. and like just going crazy. But yeah, over time they started to, some of the videos went out there to a lot of people, and then I started it on Instagram as well, and the same thing happened. So now I just sort of kept doing it, and yeah, it's been amazing with the people that are engaging with it from all over and messaging me and stuff and saying how it's, if people are outside of Sweden, in America or the UK or Scotland, even the Netherlands, just saying, this stuff, I relate to this stuff, and I miss Sweden and it reminds me, and etc. It's just lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually asked you if you had Swedish, if you were part Swedish, just because the way that you in a lot of the videos, it just comes across as so natural.
Yeah.
I
mean,
from pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I get that quite a lot, and I take it as a big compliment. I guess it's just, I'm one of those chameleons that sort of, something with the music as well. Like, I've always been into accents since I was a kid. I would just pretend that I was Australian for a day, or pretend that, those kind of stuff. So I picked up on the melody like quite quickly, and I was really curious. And when the guys in these bands would teach me, new words, we would have word of the day every day. Like, you teach me a new word, and they were ridiculous, obviously, words that I never used in conversation, but it was all about the melody, and I loved picking it up. So yeah, it's
okay.
That's been, that was how it happened, really.
So you got tips, word of the day, half of which you could use in church, the other half you probably couldn't.
I mean, one of the guys told me to go and say, another way to say thank you is, I'm not sure I'm going to say it, I'll say it anyway. He said, go and say thank you with a smile. We're at McDonald's, a nice fine dining restaurant. And he said, go up to the counter once you've received your food, with a big smile on your face, say "dra åt helvete."
No!
And I was like, I didn't actually do it. I knew he was having
with a big smile on my face, huh?
Yeah.
But it was. I actually, my mum came to visit Sweden, and I actually got him back like 2 years later, and I just taught my mum this word, and at the end of the day, she said, "Oh, it's been such a pleasure. Thanks for having us, men."
Yeah.
And said that, and like totally floored him, because like, it was the only word he knew in Swedish.
Yeah.
It was worth the comedy value.
Yeah. And it went viral. And it went viral.
Caught on. Yeah. So.
Fantastic. Now you have a sibling then. You have was it your brother that
right.
plays?
Yeah, my older brother, he lives in the south of England now.
Okay.
I also have an older sister as well.
Now, has he come to visit? Because he was in Fränsta. Did you say he played it in Fränsta before?
Yeah, he played before me, like a while ago now. But
so that's why they had the bagpipes. The bagpipes.
Yeah,
were...
that's it,
okay.
These guys, my teammates, kind of knew me already, because they were teammates with my brothers. A lot of these guys.
Yeah.
So they kind of indirectly knew me, but I didn't know anyone. But it was just such a culture shock, but it's so good from day one. And I just came for a summer, went home to Scotland, and I was just missing Sweden. It was great to see my friends and family in Scotland, but I just kept coming back for summers, and now I've been here full time for 5 years, I think.
Wow. You're stuck here now. You're stuck here now, buddy.
So that's what we were talking about the other day, the snow, like shoveling the snow.
Yeah.
Never seen these amounts of snow in my life, but now it's just completely normal. Today, me and my Samba were saying, it's pretty mild out there today. Maybe go for a walk. It's minus 10. And so it was nearly minus 30 the other week, and it's just like, God. But it's just life, and people deal with it, and there's ways.
Right.
It's totally cool. Yeah.
Well, because people used to, after we moved here, they would ask, "How do you handle the darkness?"
You don't.
How do you handle the darkness? It's kind of like, you just kind of. It's not like you have a choice, right? It's like, what do you do about the darkness? Well, the darkness is what the darkness is. We go through quite a bit of candles,
Absolutely.
but you're also north, so that means that you get extended days, right? Midsummer. Your days are longer.
Yeah, midnight sun. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In midsummer, it's confusing. Midnight, broad daylight, and then I went up to Kiruna once. It was a festival there, and that was in the summer, and I was wild.
That's crazy. You'd be like, "Hey, I'm just going to go to bed when the sun goes down."
Really bad for work nights.
Part of my life.
It was like 3-week party.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but as you say, you get used to it and you deal with it and you help each other. It's been hard, obviously, with just now. It kind of doubles down on that isolation part, but I know that at some point we're going to be out again.
On the flip side of that one.
Yeah.
Now, Archie, we have like a couple of questions that we typically ask our guests.
The gauntlet.
Yes, the gauntlet. So I'm gonna break off a couple of these questions for you.
Okay.
And I am gonna start with the first one. What is your Swedish food, or what's your favorite Swedish food?
Great question. I would put it as in, what would I miss, if I was away? And that, it's pretty standard, but it is the korv, like korv med bröd.
Oh, wow.
Or just the availability of korv and the different types of korv, especially the gas stations. Like, that was a new thing for me. Traveling and stopping, and this amazing array of sausages. And like French hot dog, and I was just like, this is brilliant. And then they've got about 15 different sauces you can choose from.
Yes.
And that's something that I would miss. So I love the husmanskost. I love all that.
Right.
But I would say korv. Yeah.
You had to say korv.
That's such a touring musician kind of an answer. Man, give me the sausages, the hot dogs. Yeah, that's the
They're
best.
lifesavers,
In the
man.
gas stations.
Yeah. Fast, simple, portable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna pick another good one here. I'm gonna put this one out there. What about a favorite Swedish artist, musical artist?
Yeah, great question. I listen to a lot of Swedish music and I love it.
Yeah.
And I love now understanding the lyrics, and I would say Ted Gärdestad.
Ooh, that's like classic.
Classic. Love his songs, and when I was introduced to his music, I was just fell in love with it. And I heard he was like a top tennis player as well. It was him and Bjorn Borg for number 1 and 2 in Sweden. And just that guy resonates with me. His melodies and his brother that writes the lyrics. And a funny story with that actually is, I don't know if you've seen the film Ted. There's a film.
I've seen the
about him.
trailers for it.
Yeah, well, his brother, the guy that plays his brother in the movie, he actually, in real life, he stole my resväska,
Your suitcase.
my traveling suitcase in Gävle.
What?
Yeah, we were back from Orlando and stopped in Gävle, and like the train was delayed to get to Sundsvall, and then my bag was gone, totally gone. I was like, hearts, skipped a beat, and then I go over and I see a label in a bag, and this guy standing next to it, and it was that guy from the movie, like the actual actor. I don't know his name, and I was like, mate, what's happening here? And he was so apologetic, and he was just in another world, dazed. But
you told him you were like, there's no way that there's more than one Pikachu yellow
Yeah,
suitcase.
exactly.
So try not to.
I was like, you've had a nightmare here, mate. I didn't say that. It was lovely about it. He was like, förlåt. Yeah, that's just I just go off in these weird tangents. That was a story that I remember.
I've seen you in the movie. There's no way you need to be stealing my suitcase of
Suitcase, right. You got some other issues.
Yeah, good guy.
Okay, here's one that that's not a favorite Swedish. I'm gonna say, what food do you miss most from home?
Okay, yeah. We have a lot of like pastries with meat, in Scotland.
How could you go wrong with that? I mean, just
Absolutely. It's so good, and coming from a football sort of supporting football as well. I went to watch my team as a kid. You get a Scotch pie, it's called, and it's sort of mutton meat and lots of herbs and a lovely pastry, and you have it with baked beans on top. That is the classic, and I think today we're going to make some sausage rolls, the same kind of concept. Sausage rolls, herby sausage meat with the lovely pastry around it.
Wow.
So that's what I miss, definitely. But we actually make them here in the house.
Hey, if it didn't take me 17 hours to drive up there, I would.
Yeah, at least 17 hours.
Yeah, I would definitely come a knocking.
You're more than welcome.
Now, are you out and about? As far as, are we ever going to be able to see you down here in Stockholm?
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. Whenever things come back to some kind of normality.
Yeah.
I'll be looking to start gigging again.
Okay.
So that definitely in terms of the music, and that'll be in Stockholm or wherever, and I'll also be working on these tours, selling the merch. There's always gigs in Stockholm, and I love it there. But I haven't been for so long.
I got my Hawaiian grass skirt, so if you want me to go ahead and do any of the merchandise sales in English at your gigs, you go ahead and just let me know.
Well, I think you just got the gig there, so
Sold.
Hey, I'm not very good at math or doing any type of like conversions and things, but I mean, other than that, I would love to sell merch.
Yeah, your personality that's what it's all about. Huge success.
Hey, Archie, we I sent out, I did a post. I put up an Instagram post around in December. I think it was around Christmas, maybe after Christmas, where we asked some of our listeners and followers for suggestions and recommendations. What would you like to see us do or things? And that was actually one of the reasons that I contacted you, was because we have a listener in Portugal. His name is Tiago. And he had said he thought it would be really great if you guys connected with Archie.
Okay.
So extremely grateful to him, just because the corresponding that we've done, and now you are definitely one of our expat friends here in Sweden, and we look forward to meeting you in person. And
hopefully the feeling is mutual. Absolutely, it's been
And we'll go ahead and we'll definitely stay in touch. We're going to do some back and forth and some cross posts, but keep us posted on things. And we are thrilled that you could join us today, and we will hopefully try and book a follow-up with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that. And so grateful to be on here. It's been a pleasure. Pleasure to meet you guys, and looking forward to, keeping in touch. And
we will definitely we will rock and roll with Archie again.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish you guys all the best.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, you too. You too. See you later, guys.
All right, everybody, that is it for this week's episode. Special thanks to Archie for stopping by the pod this week. Make sure you check him out on Spotify and TikTok. You'll also find him, of course, on Instagram and Facebook. We've got all those links for you in the episode description. Just take a look. If you're listening to us on a platform that allows ratings and reviews, be sure to show us some love there, and then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.